Well, hello, my gardening friends. Thought we would do a little tour today. What's going on? It looks pretty empty, but there is actually some stuff going on here. So we'll show you what you can be doing in November if you wanted to be, and we'll get to it. So I want to zoom in here a little bit. So over here there is some onions in there, some spring onions. I put them in late because we like them in our salads later in the year. There's some kale. There's some Swiss chard here. So as you can see, of course, because the light is lower during the day, you don't get as much activity. So I don't get as much lettuce right now as I normally would. So over here is a little bit of lettuce, and again, it's growing pretty slow. And then this is here, this one here is corn salad. This self-seeded, and so those big ones there are those ones you pick. And they're just little tiny ones all over, and as you make room for them, you pull them up by the root, throw them in. They're kind of like a microgreen, but they're buttery, they're not bitter. And then this is some self-seeded down here spinach, strawberry spinach. So you pick a few leaves of those, you pick a few leaves of that. We have rutabaga, so that's nice, and it can just stay there, and I just come out and pull it out when I want it. Technically, I believe you can eat the leaves. Mine aren't that nice looking, so I don't. And so down over here is carrots and beets. And then on the side here is some spinach. And we just keep picking it young. So we put the lettuce. We can pick the lettuce about 1.5 times a week right now. And then there's some cilantro here. There's some more lettuces. There's a little bit of kale. There's some Swiss chard over here. And then they're way over. We'll go over there. There is some dinosaur kale, so we're just throwing those small leaves in. And over here are some mustard greens. And so we just throw a little bit of that in. And then over here, on this one is, snow peas. Now, I don't have actually peas on it, but I pull off the shoots, and honestly I think I like them better than the peas. It's something they do in Britain. They put them in the salad, so I really enjoy those. I find them really good to eat in my salads. So as you can see, I have a little pop-up shelter. It's just a temporary one to put seedlings in. I am doing some seed germination right now for some lettuce to put in these hoops. And I don't know if you can see at this angle, but there's some wires here. And we just make them out of 9-gauge metal from Tractor Supply. And then it'll have a cloth to go over it to cover it during a time when it needs to stay warmer. Right now, this has not been covered. A lot of stuff can take snow for a certain length of time. So you can see my compost bin is pretty full. It's not as hot as I would like. It's about 90 degrees right now. I'd like it to be 145. It's been there a few times this fall, but it's probably needs to be flipped again, but I'm not going to do that. So my husband came over here and he transplanted we have had a ton of raspberries in here, and he transplanted these raspberries over here because they are really reproducing themselves well. And I just trimmed up the black raspberry bushes, or vines really, for the fall. And then so I did something that I don't know if you guys will, this is for me, I'm not sure if I put it in the last video, so I have to show you what happened. Because, gardening is not perfect. There's nothing perfect about it. It's always learning. You're always in the school of gardening, and you keep learning and growing and developing. It's kind of like life, you're like, oh, that's not working, I better do this. Well, I bought a bag of asparagus plants from Walmart this late spring, and left them in the bag with it open on my deck for months. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to put them in the ground and God bless them. And so I put them in the ground over here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. They all are coming up. All of them. I spent $3 on the bag. And there might have been one more because there seems to be a vacant spot here. I'm not sure. All I know is what I put in seems, I'm thrilled. I won't get to eat a couple years from it, maybe a couple sprigs next year, depending on how well it regenerates. But I'm pretty happy. Mushroom Hut is down and then going into storage. It had to dry out. So let's just come over here and look at that. I don't know if you can see it. It's probably almost 90. We'll have to see. I'm not sure. I honestly don't know if it needs more water or more green. I thought I was putting a good mixture in, but who knows? It's learning, right? So here is the Swiss chard. I have it powdered because even in the winter, there are bugs out. And I don't know if the snails have been trying to attack it or what, but so I powdered it with some diatomaceous earth. A lot of bugs don't like it. There's some more, so they're slow. Of course, there's more Swiss chard over here. There's Swiss chard over there. There's one over there. I have got to learn how to fill in my rows in a better way, but I'm gonna do that this winter when I can't come out and take some courses on how to plan a little better, because I think I could even have more right now than I do. And then that's dinosaur kale. That's right here, and actually we've taken a few leaves here and there off for salads. So just, you can't pick too many because it's very young. I honestly put it in maybe a month ago. It's quite late. I should have taken the tomatoes out earlier and then put them in, but you live and learn. And I think sometimes we have to give ourselves grace with gardening. For me, gardening was, I had to do it perfect for years, and then I didn't do it at all because I didn't know the absolute perfect way to do it. Well, some things like one spot and not the other. And that's like life, sometimes you have to let go. And in order to make room for more, you got to let go of something. And sometimes you just have to, well, that plant's not working. So up here, I had strawberries. I've tried to grow strawberries in the past, and honestly, I was pretty bad at it. But I have been listening to Paul Gauci, and he recommended wood chipping them. I put 3 plants in, and I have a bazillion babies. I mean, these are all runners. These are all runners off of for next year, plus the 3 plants, and they like the wood chips. And the truth is, I really need more wood chips. So if anyone wants to bring me some, I'd be open to it. So here, this had garlic this last winter. Then it had potatoes, and it had sunflowers, and now it has garlic again. So it's been, I put compost on it a couple times. So this has probably 75 garlics in here that are from my own garlic that I did last year. So I took the best of the bulbs and put them in. Now, some people get them to shoot up in the fall. I have never had that happen so far. They just pop up in the spring. So I'm okay with it. So we're just cleaning up. I keep mowing the lawn every so many days to mulch the leaves up. And the beds are, they're looking kind of sad. Everything's starting to wind down a little bit more all the time. So I'm going to do next is mulch some more leaves up. And but I enjoyed having you come along for the journey and seeing where we are. And I'll show you the inside of the shed. It actually does get quite warm in here. So it's just little, it has stakes. We won't leave it up all winter. It would never survive. But this spring, it'll be good for putting out my seedlings, because I usually have hundreds of seedlings. So I'm literally in it. And I have the one over on the deck too that I use tons and tons inside. So my husband put this together for me. I think it's gonna serve its purpose till we can acquire another greenhouse someday. So I want to bless you with the words that I really feel like I should share with you is, what do you need to pull from your garden that you kind of waited too long on? You know, if I had pulled the tomatoes out earlier, my kale would be a lot stronger and hardier, but it's not, because I didn't make room for them. I didn't pull out and let go of what was already done, because I grew it. And some things that you might have grown it, you took care of it, it was your ministry, it was your business, it was something you were doing, and it's now a season of letting go. And so you can move on, and you can't move on and reproduce till you make room for more. So what do you need to make room for in your life? I bless you, and I hope you have a beautiful week. Bye.